Chapter 18, Section 4, talks about ecosystem recycling. So we've already talked about how nutrients will flow through an ecosystem, or energy will flow through an ecosystem. With the biogeochemical cycles, we're talking about nutrients being circulated through the environment. So they get repurposed and then reused in different ways. One of the cycles you're probably most familiar with is the water cycle. And some of the key stages that happen in this cycle are evaporation, part of which is transpiration, which is where plants take in water through their roots and then release the water and take in carbon dioxide through their stomata, or those little pores in their bottoms of their leaves, which we talked about back in photosynthesis. Condensation, which is where the clouds start to form, and then precipitation, which is where we get that water coming back, whether it's the form of rain or snow, sleet, hail, and then that water gets returned back into the ground and the groundwater system to eventually be, evaporated again and returned to the cycle. The carbon cycle is another important one. Two of the main ingredients in this cycle are cellular respiration and photosynthesis. They're kind of the basis of the carbon cycle. And with combustion, which we're having more and more of as the number of humans goes up, that has added more carbon into the cycle in the form of carbon dioxide. And then something that also will contribute to adding additional carbon to the cycle is death and decomposition of decaying materials. So that CO2 gets released into the atmosphere as those organic compounds get broken down. Some terms for our next cycle are, in the nitrogen cycle, are nitrogen fixation and denitrification. Nitrogen fixation involves converting nitrogen gas to ammonia. Ammonia is a more usable form for living organisms than just regular nitrogen gas. And there are bacteria, many of which live in the soil or the roots of plants, and they will help to fix this nitrogen gas into the ammonia that the plant can then use. And plants then need this nitrogen in order to grow, and then we get our nitrogen by eating the plants. And then denitrification is the process of breaking down nitrogen compounds and returning that nitrogen gas back into the atmosphere. And the last cycle is the phosphorus cycle. This one is needed by animals to form bones, teeth, RNA, and DNA. Again, just like the nitrogen cycle, plants are going to get phosphorus from the soil and the water, but as animals, we need to get that from the plants then.